MetaZoo Games dropped some major news yesterday. It looks like this is going to be the largest mainstream marketing push that the MetaZoo Games brand has made in the last 3 years. With a move this monumental, it's important for MetaZoo Games fans or fans of TCGs in general, anyone who's got their eye on this phenomenon that's taking place, to understand the implications of what's about to happen. What this means for the MetaZoo Games brand going forward might not be what you think. Let's go. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Argos Anonymous. I am Argos. If you have found this channel from somewhere out there in the interweb, you don't yet know what we are, consider joining us. Why not? Subscribe. We are everything MetaZoo, up-to-date accurate news and information, private reviews, crazy shenanigans, live streams, swashbucklings, explosions, ridiculous numbers of goats, all kinds of crazy random stuff. If that's not something you would like, then subscribe, and that's what you'll get. So what is the news? MetaZoo Games has been bombarding us with interesting tweets all the time. They have new products and plushies and card games and Topps Chrome. All roads seem to lead to Chrome lately, but there's something that has happened that is changing the paradigm for what MetaZoo Games does with this community and its direction forward with regards to marketing. What do I mean by this? Well, first let's talk about the news. So the news is this. Inconspicuously on May 1st, MetaZoo Games in their Discord and on their socials just said the word Arbys. And if you were in Discord, it would have been followed by a montage of hamburger emojis and smiley faces and forks and knives and spoons and all kinds of stuff. Here on the MetaZoo Twitter page, this has had almost 1,000 likes, a bunch of retweets, and it's appeared on about 74,000 feeds. Now, if you've been around MetaZoo for a while, you'll know that, well, sometimes we get hyped up about something and that ends up taking longer than we'd hope. We're all so excited. We always want everything right away. Well, this time we got some feedback immediately, and here's what I'm talking about. In response to the MetaZoo Games tweet of Arbys on their Twitter account with approximately 800,000 followers tweeted MetaZoo Games. Again, about 700 something likes. They've got a bunch of retweets, and it's appeared on about 95,000 news feeds. My favorite though is what came after this. So on the Arbys Twitter page, you can see below it, somebody posted the pay money wubby like Green Goblin promo card flex. That was cool. I like a little flavor, a little sauce on my Arbys. So what does this even mean? Okay, most likely what you're going to see is Arbys has a variety of meals, right? If you're used to Arbys, you'll know what's up. But if you don't go to Arbys all the time, here's what they have. They have like they have the meats, right? So they have chicken and they have roast beef. They have all these sandwiches and stuff. And they have kids meals. And the kids meals have like milks or juice or apples and stuff. And then they have chicken mostly. My kids like the Arbys chicken kids meals. I think what we're going to see is MetaZoo promo cards that you get when you get a kids meal. And they may or may not have some other kind of like typical Arbys sort of like kids meal toy, you know, like a cheap plastic little thing, but with MetaZoo beasties and logos. It could be something novel and new. I don't know, but I would expect you'll at least see some kind of promo card. If they do a promo and if the promo is in demand, especially if it's like a set of different promo cards, you're definitely going to see MetaZoo Games fans going to Arbys to get the promo set. For example, I had Arbys today because this reminded me of Arbys, and I was like, I'm going to go get some Arbys, you know, and once we have those cards, I'm probably going to take the kids there so they can get meals and we can all get our promo cards. It's going to help Arbys by bringing people into Arbys to get the cards. But where this deal really shines is the exposure for MetaZoo Games. Arbys is not a small chain of restaurants. There are over 3,500 Arbys locations in 9 different countries. They have thousands and thousands and thousands of employees serving hundreds of thousands of customers all the time, okay? So if you're handing out MetaZoo all the time, what you're going to have is you have thousands of locations and tens of thousands of employees constantly exposed to MetaZoo and handing them out and looking at the beasties and seeing the Mothman and seeing the Bigfoot, and a certain percentage of those people are going to see this for the first time, and they're going to say, oh, I like that Bigfoot, or that Mothman is cute, or somebody get me a squonk. I can't stop thinking about the squonk. Why am I so obsessed with the idea of the squonk? And then they're going to be handing these out to customers. And yes, some customers will see the card and go, who cares, you know, but a certain percentage, just like all things, are going to see it and fall in love with it. And this is so important because it is the first major push outside of the TCG hobby bubble that MetaZoo has pursued. So far, what we've seen is Discord advertising, socials advertising, but socials, you know, people have to follow you. They have to find you to follow you, right? So you're really preaching to your choir for the most part if you're on socials, unless you do a lot of promotion and whatnot. Most of the MetaZoo ecosystem resides within the bubble of the MetaZoo Discord. When you put something out in Walmart and Target, you're still just sitting in the trading card aisle. So for example, MetaZoo's been in Walmart for quite a while, which is great because other trading card fanatics will see the MetaZoo Games brand. But what you really want if you're MetaZoo, is to go outside the hobby store bubble, because there are tens of millions of people in the United States that have never set foot inside a hobby store and who don't go down the trading card aisle and who might see a chibi Mothman or a Bigfoot or something like that and love it. They might see the MetaZoo iconic art style and flashy little cards and cuteness and game, and they might fall in love with it, and they would never get exposure to it if we keep it inside the bubble. This is a deliberate move by MetaZoo to go outside of the bubble and start mass marketing, and Arbys is a stepping stone for that. Now, in addition to pushing outside the TCG hobby bubble and the Discord bubble, what you're also doing is forming corporate relationships and opening doorways. This is critically important for brand expansion. For example, MetaZoo Games is in Walmart. How many new indie games do we see in Walmart that aren't being pushed by some major company, that don't get bought up and then pushed by Bandai? None. They don't make it. How did MetaZoo Games get into Walmart? Do you think they just walked in the door? Absolutely not. They started with a sales history, and then they formed corporate relationships, and then they got into Walmart, and then they got into Target, and so on and so forth. So what you're seeing here is MetaZoo starts off by building a record of positive experience, okay? And then they build on it. So what did MetaZoo before they went to Walmart? They formed a relationship with Pin Club, and that was easier to get into. And then they sold $2 million worth of pins on a Saturday when they did their first Pin Club drop. And then you know what they did after that? They did it again. So when they went into Walmart, they walked into that meeting with 2 giant bags of Pin Club earnings, and they clunked them down and they said, hey, we sold $4 million worth of pins. Can we come into Walmart? And Walmart said, okay. And probably somebody knew somebody as well. Like MetaZoo has a lot of connections through Aoki and through the Sanrio COO, who is on the board of directors for MetaZoo Games. That's Craig. They probably have a lot of corporate connections, and I'm sure that helped, but nothing talks like money. So MetaZoo has to build its laurels. It has to succeed in something before moving to the next. Arbys is not just Arbys. It's part of a corporation. So what do you get when you form a relationship with Arbys? Well, Arbys is owned by Inspire Brands, and Inspire Brands owns a bunch of other restaurants as well. They own Baskin & Robbins, Dunkin' Donuts, Buffalo Wild Wings, Sonic's, and Jimmy John's. They have 13,000 restaurant locations in a bunch of different countries. They've done $31 billion in global sales. They have over 650,000 employees. I think Arbys alone has like 80,000 employees. This is a major move. So when you form a relationship with Arbys, what you're doing is you're forming a relationship with Dunkin'. You're forming a relationship with Jimmy John's and Buffalo Wild Wings. And where do you see Dunkin' products? Well, you see Dunkin' products in Walmart. You see these products all over the world. You see derivatives and connections with all these things. And so what this is this is a building block to MetaZoo showing up on a cereal box. The corporate relationship with Arbys is a stepping stone to more things. And the kind of things we're going to see more of for MetaZoo is mass market media. You're going to see them pushing outside of the hobby store bubble and outside of the Discord to try to reach the mass markets, which is what the brand wants. Now, presumably this is going to coincide with some of those animated shorts that we've seen, which is perfect timing, because when you have people that are going to be exposed to MetaZoo Games who don't know what it is, it would be really nice for them to be able to go and Google something and find like a nice animated short, or maybe a story, some comics, a book they could pick up. Like, if these aren't necessarily TCG people, maybe they would want the plushies. And we've started to see an increasing number of MetaZoo plushies coming out. This Golden Bear is just the most recent. This is going to be at one of their collecticons, but they're clearly building a path towards producing a variety of plushies and toys and figurines and the animated shorts to coincide with pushing into the more of the mainstream markets. And this is what we call the IP development phase for MetaZoo Games. And that's what 2023 and probably 2024 is. It's IP development, it's storyline and characters and toys, and with that, mass marketing outside of the TCG bubble. Now, as MetaZoo fans and as card game enthusiasts, our tendency is to look at the cardboard and think about ourselves and say, well, am I going to like that promo or not? Am I going to like that plushie or not? Am I going to like that toy or not? But as a MetaZoo fan, what I'm trying to do is look past the immediate impact on me and look at what MetaZoo Games is doing and how they are pivoting in their presentation of their brand and where they are targeting and what that means for MetaZoo Games going forward. I think this is just the beginning. I think we have a lot more things to see in the year 2023 and beyond for MetaZoo Games. And it's going to be an exciting ride for anybody who's coming along with MetaZoo Games as they grow into what I think will one day be an international brand and a successful cultural phenomenon. And that's all I have for now. Thanks everyone for coming by. Have a fantastic week. This is Argos, signing out.